President Obama there, and before that Craig McMurtry, our correspondent in Washington. Well, with me to look at the implications of falling support for Barack Obama is Geoffrey Garrett, the CEO of the United States Study Centre at the University of Sydney. So, Geoffrey Garrett, welcome first of all. The Democrats are expecting big losses. It is going that way, as Craig was saying. How could these elections change the whole political landscape in the States?
Well, I think there could be a big policy and political change in the US. In political terms, this might actually not be so bad for Barack Obama in the longer run. The Republicans will have more ownership of Washington now. He can go back to being the leader of the country rather than the leader of his party. In policy terms, I think what Obama's going to have to do is move to the center like Bill Clinton did after a big loss in 1994. So that probably means extending the Bush tax cuts and getting quite serious about spending cuts in the United States.
All right, so Barack Obama will have to change his political style, it seems, but he was elected 2 years ago on this huge wave of hope and optimism. What has gone wrong? Has he made mistakes, or was the fall-off in his popularity inevitable, given the huge task he's had on his hands?
Yeah, I think it's so ironic that here's this guy who was supposed to be the greatest communicator of a generation, and now people pillory him as somebody who's out of touch and can only speak into a teleprompter. When we look back at this, I think we're going to see two things. On the one hand, Barack Obama did an incredible amount in 2 years. He got out of Iraq, he stemmed the tide on the financial crisis with a big fiscal stimulus, and he enacted enormous healthcare and financial reform. But that doesn't matter with 10% unemployment, a quarter of Americans owing more on their homes than they're worth, and 1 in 7 people below the poverty line. It's an economic tsunami for the Democrats in these midterms.
And that healthcare reform is still seen as very unpopular, isn't it?
Yeah, it's unpopular. The Republicans say that if they get control of the Congress, they're going to roll it back, or I would say good luck. It could get tied up in the courts. Obama would have a veto possibility. The big story for the Republicans is going to be going from being the party of no, which they've done for 2 years, to being more constructive in Washington.
What do you make of the Republicans and the rise of the Tea Party? Is that going to help them or hinder them with that news that Craig said Christine O'Donnell lost Delaware?
Yeah, the Tea Party, I think, is probably more a symptom than a cause of what's going on. It's a populist right-wing anger against big government and against Washington. That probably means we'll hear a lot more about Sarah Palin in the next couple of years, including maybe her becoming the Republican nominee for president. But I think Barack Obama might be quietly quite happy about that, because I don't think that she'd stand much chance against him in the 2012 presidential election.
Geoffrey Garrett, great to see you. Thank you.
Thanks, Roz.